Welcome and love. Let's see something. Hi, welcome. Vibe out for a bit. We about to get into the message. It's gonna be a brief message because I already have the messages for you already. But just vibe out for a bit. Because some of you need to hear some tunes just to make you move because Mercury in Cancer retrograde is the energy of make sure you're moving your body because a lot of messages are coming through the body. So it's important for you to move your body. So vibe out. And me has to grab my attention. Vibe out for a bit. All right. So here we go. Here we go. Because I'm not gonna be here for that long on this live. 11:11 at that on the timer. So right now you got the truth that's cutting through the noise collective. Body, timing, and command all at one time. So this is not the energy of drama as in entertainment. It's more so about pattern, pressure, truth, timing, and action. So the sky right now is showing Cancer emotion, the sun in Cancer, Aries heat, moon in Cancer, Gemini speech, Leo visibility, Pisces trust, Taurus value, and Aquarius exposure. So the message with all of those put together is the following is that the body already has the information, which means that your next move has to be mature, which means you've gone through the lessons and the challenges more than enough to understand what that is, especially with the moon being in a disseminating phase, which is the sixth chakra, which is your mind's eye. So you're seeing this clearly. It's up to you to ignore it though. Because the emotional body right now is awake. The nervous system that you have right now is alert. And your mouth can move pretty quickly because the truth is no longer staying buried anymore. The sun in Cancer is bringing up the root. Aries energy is bringing up the heat. Gemini is bringing up the words. Leo is bringing up the visibility. Pisces is bringing up soul direction. Taurus is bringing the body and value system. Aquarius is exposing the group, the room, the network, and the audience, which has been quite the theme. If you're someone who goes live and there's a certain vibration within the audience or within the collective that you are speaking to that expose themselves, your cue when it comes to that energy, if you're someone who is on social media, you have your own platform, make sure you are making the adjustments when it comes to energies that are exposing themselves, because they're exposing themselves for action to be taken. Beyond that, that means this is not just somebody feels emotional. No. This is a full system recalibration. The body is remembering. The mind is also racing. The heart is asking, though, for real alignment. And your mouth is being tested. The actions are being judged by consequence, not intention. I'm going to say that again. The actions are being judged by consequence, not the intention. Furthermore, the intention will actually be incorporated into that, although we just said not, but the consequence is showing the intention at the same time. The moon in Aries right now is important because Aries speaks through the body first. Your identity more so. Specifically the head, if anything. Your face, your eyes. The heat that runs through your blood, the impulse, the fight response, the courage to begin, and the instinct to address what has been avoided. So people can feel pressure in the head right now, heat in their body, irritation in the chest, restlessness in the hands. The strong sense that something has to be said, handled, moved, or corrected. But here is the discipline with all of that. Every impulse is not the final instruction. That's where the disseminating moon phase comes in, because this phase happens after the full moon. So something has already been revealed to you, is the first cue. We are not at the beginning of a story. We're not in the new moon phase. We are in the part where the body is processing what it already saw. In the root to crown sequence, the disseminating moon activates the third eye center. That means that the assignment is perception right now, pattern recognition, and correct interpretation. So when the disseminating moon phase arrives and it moves through Aries, this is the third eye that's speaking through your instincts. This is what I mean when I be telling y'all understand the moon cycles, not just the cycle that it's in, but the sign that it's in. The disseminating moon phase in the sign of Aries, where the third eye is speaking through the instinct, you're not just seeing the pattern mentally, you are feeling the pattern physically. Your body itself is telling you to pay attention. Your nervous system is telling you this is familiar, and your instincts are also saying, do not ignore this again. However, Aries without discipline can react too quickly. But here's the beauty of every time the moon is in Aries too. Over the next 2.5 years is the fact that Saturn is in Aries. Saturn in Aries is saying that the action has to be clean. Neptune in Aries, the signal is spiritual, but it cannot be mixed with the version of you that panics out. So the assignment is not to suppress the signal. The assignment is to refine the response. Say it clearly, move directly. Make sure you're not throwing fire everywhere just because the body is activated. It's very easy to do. Do not use truth as an excuse for disorder, or use truth as a structure. More so, use truth as a structure for action. Meaning, the fact that the sun is in Cancer, which means it's squaring this Saturn that's in Aries. This is one of the strongest tensions in the sky right now, because the sun in Cancer is revealing what hurt you, what formed you, and what you remember. Saturn in Aries now is on some, now that you know what hurt you, what formed you, and what you remember, how are you moving? Are you leading yourself, or is the wound still making decisions? That's the whole lesson right now. At least while the moon is in Aries. Every time the moon is in Aries, as a matter of fact. Your past is going to do a very great job when it comes to explaining the pattern, especially when it cannot keep running the present. Your wound can even reveal the origin, but it cannot be the ruler. Your emotions is valid. Your action still has to be accountable, though. With Mercury retrograde in Cancer, it adds another layer where old conversations come back, old feelings return, family themes rise up. You got private memories that come into the surface, words that were never spoken sit at the front of the throat at this time. People revisit what was said, what was avoided, what was misunderstood, and what was emotionally buried. Now, this is not here so people can keep replaying the past, though. This alignment energy right now that you have an opportunity to align to, rather, is here so language can be corrected, meaning in a question form, are your words protecting the wound, or are your words freeing you from a pattern? More so a DNA type of pattern at this point, because the song that's playing right now is called DNA. Let me hear this real quick. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Yo, that video is wild though. That's a wild video. I've never seen this video. This is an old soca song at that. Maybe I haven't. I just saw it in the mix, but anyway. And there's 4 horses in there at that. You know what? Okay. So 4 horsemen and DNA is very significant to this message as well. We got Mars and Uranus and Gemini, which is going to make this energy much more sharper, because it's going to bring sudden messages, fast opinions, abrupt conversations, unexpected information, where your nervous system is reacting through speech. Basically, one sentence, let me move this over again. That was the stand. One sentence can reveal the whole pattern right now, collective. So this is the vibe where a comment can show the intention. A post can even expose the position. Silence can speak louder than a paragraph. Some of y'all going through situations where you haven't spoken to a person, you wondering why. That's a whole essay you just received. You just got a dissertation through that silence. Move accordingly. They saying a whole lot more than you are looking for them to say with words out of their mouth, or actions through their body, or through their movement. So during this energy, the mouth is a portal, whether it's actually expressing itself or silent. The hands are a portal too, which means a text message is a portal, a post is a portal, and a response is a portal. So that all in all, communication has consequences. Not because, people have to be scared to speak. No, it's more so because speech has power right now. Words can cut, build, expose, or redirect. The highest move happens with precision. So if you have your own tarot deck and you're pulling out the Chariot card, that's your signal in regards to, okay, the universe is telling you to be more precise with your movement, or you're in a position of having precise movement, or a move that you made was precise. Venus and Jupiter and Leo is going to bring the heart, the stage, the creative field, visibility, romance, desire, confidence, and recognition. But Leo has two expressions. One expression of Leo is performance, the other is embodied presence. The focus is embodied presence, not performance. Because performance is basically, do you see me yet? Presence is more so I know what I carry. Whether you see me or not, that's besides the point. Performance chases applause. Presence holds the room without begging for validation. And knowing that the heart does not open or close, the heart just is, it's important to align to its frequency. That is the Leo message in this current right now, to stop shrinking the truth of your expression. Stop performing for people who already show they cannot honor it anyway. Stand in your presence with maturity. Now, I did pull a spread earlier from the archetype deck. It was the Orphan, Aletheia, Kairos, the Destroyer, and the Apocalypsis, which is a direct message in itself. But this is my song too. What? Coming shouting, hey, 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 one step away. As you reach the place where nothing flashes. Hey, 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 you want the party day. As you reach up in the day, things start happening. Hotel book, play the room. The master, the place in the lamp, set them lamp. The master, man and woman jumping in the van. The master, all of them down in the island. Freedom spirit in the place, in the night, in the day. Watching over Jaja children as they play. Freedom spirit in the place, in the night, in the day. Watching over the girls as they play. So, the orphan coming out, it's basically showing the emotional root of abandonment, feeling unsupported, feeling outside, feeling unseen, possibly even feeling forced to carry something alone. With this Cancer energy activated, the sun being there and Mercury being there, retrograde is putting you even deeper into your body, which is going to connect you more to family memory, childhood patterns, attachment wounds, private grief that you've been holding on to, and any type of old emotional survival modes. But the fact that it came out, the orphan card, it's not about you staying in that wound. Obviously, it's more so about saying the wound is visible now. So the part of you that felt left behind is being brought to the surface so it can stop making decisions from that position, which is usually how the trickster energy can come up in terms of you or a person experiencing success and achievements and not handling those childhood patterns, attachment wounds, private grief situations, or old emotional survival tactics. It's going to come up every time it has the opportunity to, and it always has the opportunity to do so. This is why I say there's a difference between you dealing with the situation and handling it. Because if you're dealing with something, you're going to give space for those wounds, that grief to constantly resurface up without you handling it instead of dealing with it. The core of this story, or the root of that energy, of that vibe, that story right there, is the way people perceive death in itself. Especially as a soul having an experience here on this planet within this dimension that embodies multiple dimensions, up to you as to which dimension you're going to experience as a soul within the vessel, aka your body. Even with the things that go on around you, your perception of it is going to determine how fulfilled you're going to be in this lifetime that you're experiencing this life as a soul. Aletheia is sitting, it was sitting at the center, which is the card of truth. Not the edited version. It's not the comfortable version or the one that's going to protect the ego. The protect the ego is the actual truth. Then you had Kairos, which says that the timing is exact, which reveals This is also conversation, pressure, internal shifts, exposure. Meanwhile, it's also landing at the correct point in the cycle. The destroyer was talking about the false structure that cannot remain. So anything built from denial, fear, control, dependency, emotional manipulation, or avoidance is under pressure. Apocalypse is basically saying that the veil is coming off. It is off, actually. One side of you is coming off, the other is off, and you're still moving as if it's still coming off, acting as if what was hidden is not visible to you. Motives, patterns, intentions, delays, reactions, emotional immaturity, they're all revealing itself. Now, each of those cards I also did clarify. The orphan was clarified by the Five of Pentacles, which was saying that the orphan wound is tied to lack, money, support, stability, resources, and feeling outside the door. But that card also shows access nearby. The issue is that the wounded part of the self keeps staring at the cold or the old version instead of recognizing the opening that's ahead. So it's important to stop making decisions from the part of you that feels excluded or looking for the door, the resources, or the grounded resolution when it's right. What you're looking for is already right in front of you. And the reason why you can't see it because it's probably not appearing the way you expect it to. This is why hope is dangerous, because hope will put you in that position, looking for a door, looking for resources, looking for a grounded resolution. It's either you know or you don't. We're in an age right now where it's up to you to know. But what influences your knowing is what you're used to believing. And if you did not question what it is that you had a belief in, then you have a lack of knowledge as a predestined program within your body because you didn't question the belief that you should have been questioning anyway. And choosing not to, now you can feel yourself on autopilot even in certain conversations, which keeps you around certain people where you're accustomed to saying what's the actual fact of your reality and your truth, and then immediately after that you're saying you don't know. Those little things are not just little things, they're very major, and it takes just a minor action to actually, you know what I'm saying, correct it, so you're not repeating the cycle. Alethea was clarified by the Seven of Pentacles. All of these cards, except for um, Apocalypsis, was clarified by an earth element. There were 5 cards, and 4 of them were clarified by the earth element. And Alethea was clarified by the Seven of Pentacles, which is saying that truth is in the results, not the promise, not the fantasies, not the speeches, not the emotional attachments, the actual results, the consequences of actions, cause and effect, the effect of the cause. What has grown? What has stayed consistent? What keeps draining the body? What produces value? What consumes time without producing fruit? Because the truth is in the harvest every time. Kairos is connected to timing, and that was clarified by the Knight of Pentacles, Virgo energy, which means that the timing is not opening through panic. The timing is opening through disciplined movement, small steps, small yet practical steps, real tasks, clean follow throughs, practical structure, a solid next move, literally. And then you have the destroyer that was clarified by the Four of Pentacles, which means that the thing being proven as broken is the grip, the scarcity, the control, the fear of loss, emotional hoarding, holding on because the nervous system does not trust release. which is a very strong energy to even look into for yourself, is, what are you holding on because the nervous system does not trust? One. Secondly, trust release specifically. Because what you grip from fear starts to grip you back. This is why sexual energy is very powerful in manifestation. A grip is a whole nother type of conversation, but it's still the same conversation when it comes to what it is that you desire in your life too. Because the truth right now is exposing where people have been investing from abandonment instead of self-worth. Now, looking at this from the practical center of the entire reading was the vibe of a tesseract. A tesseract is basically a four-dimensional cube. It's easy for us to understand it conceptually, but it's another to fully see it in its ordinary three-dimensional sight. Usually it's perceived or seen through its projection. Spiritually and practically speaking, this means that the situation has more layers than the surface shows. So a person can perceive the issue as one message, one argument, one delay, or one person, or one reaction. But the energy of the tesseract says that there is a larger architecture behind the event. It's seeing beyond the physical, basically. It's a pattern that folds through time, memory, speech, body, choices, and consequences. But here's the grounding point with all of that. Seeing the larger pattern is only valuable if it changes the action. So basically, put it this way, if the insight does not change the behavior, the person is just studying the pattern while repeating it at the same time, willingly. Then I did another pull and the Page of Wands came out again. But it came out on a different spread where I pulled three more archetype cards, and the archetype cards was the sword, the bardo, and the stone in reverse. The Page of Wands clarified the sword, the Five of Wands clarified the bardo, and the King of Wands clarified the stone. This is basically fire in progression, but the energy of the stone came out more so in a upright type of energy when um, feeling the vibes of it. Because the Page of Wands over the sword is basically saying that somebody initiated something from a young fire, from a very young stage, a message, a comment, a post, a reaction, a bold gesture, a spark. But the sword under it says that that spark cut into truth. Whatever was said or done created a separation between what is real and what is performance. Mm. Some of you have to use camphor in your energy because there's something that you're ready to cut through, and it's time to cut through it. Because with that Page of Wands on the sword first, somebody spoke, moved, posted, or bursted and saying something, a little spark, a little bold. But the sword was more so on some. Now the truth gets told. Somebody thought they stirred a little pot, but the pot had receipts and the flame was a little hotter than they expected. The Five of Wands that showed up on the bardo next That's conflict in transition. Egos is vexed right now. Everybody swinging, everybody loud, everybody fighting for rank in the crowd. But Bardot energy is saying that this ain't the end of it. It's the hallway. Mm. Where there's a bend into your old self, or where the old self bends. So many aren't just fighting another face. They're more so fighting the shift that at this point, you can no longer escape it, for real. Then the King of Wands on the stone came through, mature fire, command in view. This is the type of energy that isn't arguing with every stick, ain't chasing no drama, ain't feeding the click, none of that. It's just the king sits steady, the stone holds firm. Where you're now ready to step into your leadership position from everything you've unlearned. That Page of Wands, Five of Wands, King of Wands is on some, I got something to say. Everybody in the way, I embody the role. And you're not for no debate when it comes to what you're ready to hold. That's the move right now. No longer arguing with noise, no longer chasing the room, no longer proving the throne. Being the standard that let the pattern show itself. Especially with Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy within your chart. Aries, this is heavy on you. Moon, Saturn, Neptune in your field too. Your lesson is clean action, not reaction. Having discipline with courage. And no longer allowing yourself to align with any type of scattered attractions. Leo, Venus and Jupiter in your sign got your name. It's not about performance. This is all about your flame right now. So make sure you stand in your presence without the necessity of an applause, because real royalty does not and will never explain its cause. Sagittarius with that Page of Wands, it brings your spark. So the messenger is basically at this point walking through the dark. The vision is real. Make sure you aim it clean. And don't scatter your truth across every scene, because not everybody's ready to hear you anyway. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, Mars, and Uranus got your words electric at this point. One message can expose the whole metric. Speak with precision, not nervous speed. Your tongue can plant or cut the seed. For you, Libra, Five of Wands shows real friction socially, social friction. Peacekeeping cannot hide not one form of contradiction. If you find that you enter a space and the room is off, name the imbalance. Because the truth of it all is that harmony without it has no talent. For you, Aquarius, Pluto is shaking the crew anyway. Because that's what you rule, the network, the social dynamics, long-term ones. Pluto is shaking the crew, showing who aligns with the future view. Friends, platforms, groups, community ties. Watch you get loud when the truth starts to rise, Aquarius. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Taurus Chiron at 0 hits a value in the ground. Body, money, worth, they all coming around. So security cannot be built on fear. Your body knows what's safe and clear. Virgo 7 of Pentacles speaks to your eye, reviewing the results. Make sure you're not out here over applying. What works, what drains, what actually grows. Data is sacred when it guides what you do. Capricorn to stone speaks your language, structure, consequence, leadership, anchorage. So your message is control the fire with form. Build something, literally, that can stand through the storm, Capricorn. Cancer, your emotional root. You are it. You are the emotional root. You're the emotional root. Sun and Mercury retrograde are digging through you. Family patterns, memory, attachment, grief. But the old story no longer gets chief. The strong degrees are activated from 0 to 5. Aries, Gemini, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Pisces. 14 to 15, Aries and Cancer. 24 to 27, Cancer and Leo. 22, Sagittarius. So yes, this is for Aries, Leo, Gemini, Cancer, Aquarius, Taurus heavy, with Sagittarius, Libra, Virgo, Capricorn, Pisces all steady. The truth is in the room and the noise got cut. Old wounds came back, but the door still didn't shut though. If the pattern keeps repeating, check the route. What builds on fear is getting pulled out. No more gripping what can hold you. No more feeding what keeps draining you. Move with fire, but move with command. You on a throne right now that's made of stone, so stand where you stand. So here's the final word for the collective. The body already caught the pattern. The cards already showed the structure. The sky already turned the pressure up. Now the action has to move and match the awareness. Stop investing from abandonment. Stop calling fear loyalty. Stop calling patience or confusing patience with self-neglect. Stop letting noise pull you out of command. Your truth is in the sword. Your timing is the door. The wound is the teacher. The reveal is the spark. The stone is the throne. And the king is the one who knows when to speak, when to move, and when to let the room expose itself. But you're going to have to step into your emperor energy, which is what the king goes to remind itself of its purest identity. For those of you that are ready to stop repeating the same loop, reset your timeline, and repeat your life is available through the link in the bio. Tap in for deeper personal support, extended analysis, natal chart work, current energy transmissions, and private sessions. Because this current is not asking people to perform awareness. It's asking you to live from it. Much love to all. Have a blissful one.